Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to NEWSROOM. I'm your host, Khalid. But it is the 9th of October 2024 and these are the stories that we will be highlighting in the course of our show. We'll begin with the continuous violation of our sovereignty that we are seeing from the Afghan side through the border into Pakistan. And again, we've seen an act of aggression by the Afghan forces that happened on the border in Nushki Ghaznali sector. Pakistan, of course, retaliated with full force, and it resulted in the reversal of what the Afghan side was trying to do. This happened when the Pakistani side was trying to fence the border between both the countries. This is not the first time that such skirmishes have happened on the border. Just last month and earlier this month also we saw other skirmishes happen, and in August also and before also. Every year we see more and more of such border skirmishes happening from the Afghan side. What is the basic methodology or philosophy behind it and what needs to be done is going to be part of our discussion in our first segment. Our second story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns what has been happening in the illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. We know that the so-called legislative or sham elections, as a lot of analysts are calling, happened in the illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. But what was very interesting to see is that the BJP lost. They only got 29 seats, while the other opposition parties got a collective of more than 40 seats. Now, this means that they are going to form the government. There are many questions on the efficacy or legitimacy of these elections itself, and secondly, there are also a lot of questions on how things will move forward now that these elections have happened and the opposition has gained a majority of seats, with the Lieutenant Governor of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir being given more and more powers. What is going to be the fate of this government that will be formed when it is formed is going to be part of our second story. Then we are going to talk about Shehroze Kashif, who has now become the youngest Pakistani to submit all the 14 peaks who are above 8,000 meters in the world. This happened around 3 o'clock this morning, and of course Pakistan was elated, and a lot of other colleagues of Shehroze were also extremely happy that he at such a young age has achieved the insurmountable. Finally, we are going to talk about the Nobel Prize in Chemistry that has been awarded to 3 scientists. Now, this prize this whole week and also next Monday is going to be a spate of prizes that is going to be awarded by the Nobel Committee in different fields, and today was chemistry, and this has been given to these 3 scientists for their work as far as proteins is concerned. A new protein has been discovered, and what is going to be the implication of that is what we will discuss in our last segment. Let's begin with our first, and that concerns cross-border attacks from Afghanistan. Not the first time it has happened, and also not the first time that Pakistan has retaliated with full force and has shown the Afghan side that they cannot tamper with the Pakistani side, whether it be the Pakistani forces or Pakistani territory. We've been joined by Major General retired Zahid Mehmood, he's a defense analyst, to discuss on this very issue. Thank you very much, sir, to have joined us. Sir, when we look at this act of aggression that happened on the border, on the Nushki Ghaznali border, it is not the first time that such skirmishes have happened on the Pakistan-Afghan border. Pakistan here was, of course, trying to repair fence between the two borders. But we have seen such skirmishes happen this month, last month, and in the month of August as well. And this is just this year. I mean, there have been many other such skirmishes that have happened in 2023 and 2022. In your point of view, why has Afghan posturing become so aggressive, A? And secondly, I'd like to understand with regards to the fencing, is there some issue from the Afghan side as far as fencing on the border is concerned?
There are a few aspects related to this. So, number one is that there is a huge disorder in Afghanistan. We were expecting that with this new regime, with the Taliban regime, we're going to have some order, and they must have learned from their past. But unfortunately, the rate of the government inside Afghanistan is it's no rate of a government in that. So there are elements, there are factions, there is all the groups. They're, I think, executing their plans as per their own wishes. So there is no control. This has become and another factor is the sealing of the borders. There is a lot of illegal trade which was there in Afghanistan on these borders. So Pakistan and now even Iran, if you know about that they're also fencing the border because whatever is being exported from Afghanistan in form of extremism, in form of terrorism, illegal trade. So a lot of stuff coming to the neighboring countries. And no state, no sovereign state will allow anyone to interfere in their matters. Now coming over to these Kharijites and Fitna al-Kharij, you understand that they have the safe havens, they have sport there. Even their government is providing them the licensed weapons, they are providing them the accommodation, they are taking care of them. And probably a lot of economics has got attached to this terrorism. So they are exporting not terrorism and extremism not only to Pakistan, but Iran is being threatened. There are around 16 to 17 proscribed organizations in Afghanistan, So out of that, 12 to 13 are, directly affecting Pakistan. And there are 3-4 which are affecting the Russia, Central Asia, China. So the whole region is, being influenced and being affected by whatever is happening in Afghanistan. So that is, of course, now these people who are deployed, they're not, you should understand this is not a regular army or a military. So they have some kind of a discipline. These were the freelancers. They were free with the weapons. So they're kind of small groups which have become part of their military. So there's no discipline. They can't be like a professional military. So they work under some order or they function under some order. So every independent commander is taking decisions, and such things are happening on the border. And Pakistan will not tolerate this, and the response will go. And as whatever has happened there, this is a response of a state which is organized and which don't allow such activities on the border.
Major General Zahid Mehmood, we all remember what happened at Noshki in the beginning of this month. We've seen what happened in the month of September, August, and also in the previous years as far as the border skirmishes are concerned. I'd like to understand a specific point. We know that in the past as well, the Afghan interim government has time and again shown their extreme reservation as far as the fencing of the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan is concerned. Do you feel, A, that Afghanistan has a huge issue, a big issue with the fencing of the border they have not yet accepted? And secondly, do they have an issue with the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan? Because many times we've heard statements saying that they do not accept this border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. What's your take on that?
This is a long issue, and this always comes up once they face a problem, once the security forces, or once we take these strict measures, So they get in the gulf of this border issue. They create a situation, alarming situation. And then because they have the connections with those inimical forces which are really operating against Pakistan, the states which are operating from Afghanistan, and the states who are doing phenomena like convulsions and all that, So they have the connection. Now, as I said earlier, that this is kind of an economic terrorism. So a lot of economics has got attached to this. So they create an issue. It is just, to show that they have a serious issue and they have reservation about the borders and all that stuff. Primarily, they're supporting those elements who want to change the way of life of the people of Pakistan. Today Pakistan is facing two kinds of threats. One group is the one who is trying to, trying to change the way of life of Pakistanis. Fitna al-Khawarij, those TTP guys and all that, people like them. Then the other hand, we are facing the threat of those terrorists like BLA and BRA. They want to change the geography of Pakistan. So all these elements who are trying to change the geography of Pakistan, they cannot succeed without the outside help, So they need to have some supporters other than outside this Pakistan. Because the chances of winning this battle are very oblique unless they are supported by other nations. And that's why the convulsion was in, Balochistan. So huge Indian connections. Now, whatever is happening in Pakistan, and then they have these soft faces as well, those who condemn once the terrorists are killed, and then they follow up their agendas through the movements like missing persons cases and all that stuff. They don't even have a courtesy to condemn when the poor innocent workers are killed, so they don't respect the blood of the people of Pakistan. That's why the Pakistan state has come to we are a nuclear state. We are a meaningful state. We are a regional power, This is not a banana republic that nobody is going to take action against them. So what all is happening is reciprocating to their actions. So state is now going to the another ladder of escalation. So whatever actions they will take, it will be responded upon, and state of Pakistan must go with the precision kinetics. Pakistan military and Pakistan security forces create an environment, a better table for the politicians and the social scientists and other people in Balochistan and KPK. And politicians must take the responsibility. They should create, look after the social and economic prongs, and the military should do a precision kinetics, and the people-centric approach should be adopted for the people of Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Major General Zahid Mehmood, the timing also seems very suspect. We all know we just had the Malaysian Prime Minister here in Pakistan. We have a high-ranking Saudi Arabian delegation that has arrived tonight in Pakistan as well, and we are going to have the SCO heads of government meeting that is going to happen in just a few days' time. Don't you feel that there's a deliberate attempt by certain forces to A, denigrate Pakistan, B, malign Pakistan, and C, create an image that Pakistan is not a stable country to come in, to invest in, and to live in?
Dot on, perfect. There's no doubt in that. The incident what happened in Karachi is a great example in this regard, whatever you are saying, whatever you are hinting at. This is again, unfortunately, we have a neighbor which is run by a Hindutva ideology. There's a lot of this extremist ideologies, this leadership, they can go to any extent. They're exporting terrorism to now. We have incident of Sikhs in Canada. We have incident in United States. Whatever happening in Kashmir. Now this extremism, this terrorism, this has become the lead instrument of their political pursuing of their policies. So this can be very much, this can have a linkage with that, to create an environment to portray Pakistan that, look, this is not a safe country, government has no writ, and people of Pakistan are not safe, And then this is a kind of, they're trying to target the hope of the people of Pakistan in the state, that they're unable to, give them a protection, they can't protect them. So this is a pronged approach which they have adopted, and there can be a serious chances that this is very much linked to what you are hinting at, what you are speaking about.
All right, Major General Zahid Mehmood sahab, also we had a spokesperson of the Foreign Office highlight many a detail regarding Afghanistan and the interim Afghan government, and again pledge to the Afghan interim government to to stop all those elements that are present within Afghanistan, to stop all those terrorist elements from seeping into Pakistan through the border. I'd like to understand, sir, with all due respect to the Afghan side, why is there such a reluctance to fight this fitna that continues to harbor such negative machinations as far as Pakistan and its security paradigm is concerned? Why is the Afghan interim government reluctant to help a country that has always been on its side for decades and decades, where the more than a million refugees still are present as we speak?
There are a few reasons for that. Number one is that they don't have a control, and a total control. Secondly, they have this kind of a feeling that there can be fractions, there can be a division within the Afghan interim government if they take action against the TTP. They consider that, look, these people, they have supported them in the war against United States, and whatever was happening in Afghanistan, and now this is time to reciprocate. So this reciprocation and this approach is, this has serious consequences. They have the fear that if we'll stop supporting Taliban, TTP, and these Khawarij who are operating in Pakistan, then there can be frictions and there can be division within the Afghan interim government. So this is one reason. Secondly, to be very honest, they have failed to govern Afghanistan. So the people of Afghanistan are fed up. There are no jobs, there's no economic activity. They're deprived of the basic fundamental, rights. The women are under pressure. Their school going is stopped and things like that. So they're not delivering to the people of Afghanistan. So to divert the attention, they're creating a kind of a war-like situation, and then there is no pressure. So the media and every international community, everybody is paying more attention on whatever is happening on borders and all that stuff, and nobody is worried about the people of Afghanistan. That's why I always maintain that the government in Afghanistan is the biggest enemy of the people of Afghanistan. Because without Pakistan, if they think there's going to be prosperity in Afghanistan, I'm sorry. They're going to have a progress in Afghanistan, I'm sorry. Indians will use them. External forces will use them. They will abandon them. So the story in this region is all about abandonment. The big powers, they came, they created this situation. We have a chaotic Afghanistan. They abandoned them. They've gone back. So whatever we have sacrificed, unfortunately, for these people, that has not been respected. And as I told you, that there are reasons behind it. They don't have a control. They are not people of order, so they don't understand the state and the statecraft. So they can't apply those noble principles of a statecraft. There is no statesman. So these are the people.
Major General Zahid Mehmood Sahab, I'd like to understand what are the options in your point of view that Pakistan has, kinetic or non-kinetic options? Because we know that we were part of the quadrilateral meeting where there was China, where there was Iran and Russia, and we've had at various times delegations go to Afghanistan to ask for them to stop this infiltration of terrorist elements. Then we have also, said that if they want, Pakistan can help flush such elements out. But there is so far no reaction coming. What do you feel would be the best option from the Pakistani side to end this once and for all?
Yes, multi-pronged. We should, in terms of the kinetics, precision, strong kinetic reaction, strong military response to all the actions at this level. Beside this, the political prong, the offensive diplomatic prong, that has to be adopted, because we have told them not to do this. We have warned them. We have requested them. All kinds of diplomatic efforts we have made. So diplomatically, after this, we should go to the main organizations, the international organizations, and we should now start speaking about the sanctions on this regime. This regime is exporting terrorism in the region. This regime is, victim of disorder.
Of course, that is so true, Major General Zahid Mehmood Sahab. We're a bit short of time. Thank you very much to have joined us to have discussed this latest skirmish on the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan, and of course what should be happening from the Pakistani side and what will happen. Pakistan has, for the moment, as it has done always, stopped this event from further exaggerating or enhancing. But what needs to be done on different fora is what Pakistan is also looking towards. We'll be back after a short break. Welcome back, and our second segment today concerns the legislative elections that have culminated in illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The results are out there. BJP has had a harrowing defeat, and of course it is the National Conference that has had the maximum of seats, that is 42, and combined with the Congress's 6 seats, it is going to be forming the next government. What does that bode as far as BJP's presence in the Indian held Kashmir is concerned, because they had tom-tom a lot about it during their election campaigns, and of course they were also trying to install a head of the government in the Indian Hill Valley who would be a Hindu, because they have been doing all sorts of methodologies and installing different kinds of methodologies to completely change the demography of the region. Will this legislative government make any change or any dent in the BJP's machinations? We've been joined by 2 guests to discuss that and more. In the studios, we've been joined by our dear friend Altaf Hussain Wani. He's a Kashmiri leader and we all know him very well. Thank you very much, Wani Sahab, to have joined us. Online, we've been joined by Dr. Khushboo Ejaz, who's a South Asian affairs expert. Dr. Khushboo, thank you very much to have joined us as well. We'll begin with you, Wani Sahab. Wani Sahab, was this expected, this number of seats? Because a lot of pre-results, the polls that were coming and the estimations that were coming were saying that it would be a hung parliament as a result of the legislative elections, and that BJP will gather equal numbers as the other parties. But in fact, the results showed quite a different picture. What do you attribute this to? Do you feel that BJP garnering 29 seats is a manifestation of Narendra Modi's narrative's loss in the Indian Hill Valley?
No, actually, I think before these elections, when we started talking about this happenings in Kashmir, I told you that even at that time I was advocating that people of Kashmir have two challenges before them. One is to defeat the BJP's narrative in Kashmir, and the other hand is to keep alive their movement for right self-determination. So the first and foremost in these circumstances was to defeat the BJP's narrative in Kashmir.
All right.
BJP, which came in power in India in 2014 till that date, they have been trying to manipulate or maneuver things in Indian occupied Kashmir to get the power in Kashmir. In 2014, then they formed a government with Mufti Muhammad Saeed, a coalition government there. And then thereafter, we saw that after 2018 onwards, there was a governor's rule. And during this governor's rule, they did each and everything, what we call in a way pre-poll rigging. They did everything to gain that majority. In one way, the gerrymandering of the assembly segments in the Jammu, giving the Jammu people more representation in the house, and then also giving the Pahadis the this scheduled tribe status in order to win their votes, and giving them 10% reservations in the government's seats and all that. But the people of Kashmir, especially the Muslims in Jammu and the people in Kashmir Valley, they were more concerned about their identity of the state, more concerned about their self-respect than for what Indians thought about that by the concessions, by giving them the status of this and that, the people will vote for BJP. We have seen none of the people voted for the BJP. BJP gained from 27 to 29, and it's because of they allotted 6 more seats to the Jammu during the delimitation, and that's why they won. Unfortunately, Congress failed to deliver there. Congress did not do much.
Despite of all the demands that they had, and all the, slogans that they had taken up.
No, during the parliamentary elections, we saw that BJP's vote bank shrank from 42% to 24% in Jammu. But at this time, they again bounced back there, and Congress failed to counter that. But what happened in total, what people were thinking of, that all those who carried a baggage of BJP behind them, whether it was PDP, which vigorously did talk about the Article 370, 35A and all that, they talked about it. They had run a huge campaign against it. Mahbub Mufti was more vocal than any of the Kashmiri leaders on it, of this Indian dispensation. But even then, the way they had the coalition with the BJP, the people of Kashmir did not forget that. And that's why we saw the PDP also losing in Kashmir. And we saw during the parliamentary elections, another factor coming, and Engineer Rashid defeating Umar Abdullah and Sajjad Ghani alone.
That was huge.
And the people of, at that time, youth of Kashmir saw him as a symbol of resistance and voted for him. But as soon as he came out of the jail, we saw the people right and left of Engineer Rashid, all those who were one way or the other way related to the Indian agencies or to the BJP. That's why that support did not remain that time. And we saw him losing everywhere, and that's why the National Conference, I think, they made better options, and they did.
Okay. Now this coalition is going to take power in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir Valley. Dr. Khushboo, my question to you concerns the future of this alliance. What are the expectations that the people in the Indian Hill Valley have from this alliance, and will they live up to it?
Thank you very much for asking this question. Basically, this is the alliance between the Congress, National Conference, and Communist Party of India. National Conference won 42 seats, and 6 seats were won by the Congress and 1 seat by the Communist Party. So we can easily see that the leading party is, or the majority is the natural, you can say, political party of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, that is National Congress. So they have won majority seats. As far as BJP is concerned, they have also shown good results because this is the highest number of seats they have won in any elections in Jammu and Kashmir. So as far as this alliance is concerned, their main objective is to retain the status or to have the status of statehood. And they have formed this alliance because of this manifesto. And Umar Abdullah kept on saying this thing that we want the status to be changed, and they want statehood to be back because now it's union territory. Though Indian parliamentarians, especially Amit Shah and other, they are talking about this thing that these elections were the free and fair elections, and different alliance parties, because it was said that it will be a hung parliament. And when we see that how Umar Abdullah has won this majority seats, and in the next tenure, he will be focusing on statehood, and that is the main objective of Congress as well, because they are opposing all the policies of BJP in the current time frame.
All right, but of Altaf and Wani Saab, Umar Abdullah also maintains that seeking the restoration of Article 370 from the BJP, the very party that was responsible for the removal of Article 370 and of course 35A, is nothing short of foolish. When he says that, does he mean that for example, the Congress had claimed when it was, politicking for this very legislative elections, that if they come into power, they are going to completely, reinstate Article 370, 35A. Now that the way Umar Abdullah is highlighting the very fact that it's not going to be an easy task for the reinstation of Article 370 or 35A, what will be the expectations now of the people? What will they want from this new alliance if, for example, this whole restoration of Article 370 or 35A is not happening anytime soon?
Sir, let me say this, people of Kashmir don't have any hopes of this alliance, that this alliance or this government will do any miracles to the people of Kashmir. Right. As I told you, the first and foremost thing with the people of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, primarily with the people of the Kashmir Valley and the Muslim belt of Jammu, was to defeat the nefarious designs of the BJP, which they did. They don't have any hopes on this alliance or other people that they will bring Sikhs for them, they will do anything. As we know,
and
expectations are always there. In 1996, when Farooq Abdullah came into power in Kashmir, he had two-third majority in the assembly, and then he passed the bill, and during the election campaign he said that we are going to restore the pre-53 position in Kashmir. So that was with Prime Minister, President and Supreme Court and all that. But he had the two-thirds majority. But when the assembly passed that bill and proposed that the autonomy, restoration of autonomy to the government of India, that bill is gathering dust in the South Bloc there. So likewise, many of things have been happening for. In this way, I can say Umar Abdullah was candid enough. He accepted it, that it is going to be an uphill task to do it. It's not an easy task to do it. But now the ball is in the court of these people. If they really want to do anything for the people of Kashmir, if they really want to, if they have any type of something with the people of Kashmir, they should think of forging alliance, starting a dialogue with one another, and then asking government of India to restore the dialogue between India and Pakistan and with the people of Kashmir. That is what for which they have to do, and that is the only way. Inclusive dialogues can only pave the way for a peaceful settlement of Kashmir, and that is what Omar Abdullah and his Farooq Abdullah and the alliance partners will have to do if they feel that they have to do something so that the sufferings of the people of Kashmir come to an end.
All right. Dr. Khushboo, when Altaf and Wani Sahab talks about inclusive dialogue, of course, we've got the Foreign Minister of India who's coming for the SCO Heads of Government meeting. But of course, there's a lot of talk from the leaders in the Indian Hill Valley that there should be some kind of talks. But, well, let's see whether that happens or not. But when we look at the Indian Hill Valley, there seems to be a lot of, machinations still going on from the BJP side in the form of the Lieutenant Governor who is installed there. There's a talk of 5 MLAs who are being nominated because of the sweeping powers that the Lieutenant Governor has. And apparently the National Conference has declared its intention to move the Indian Supreme Court if the Lieutenant Governor proceeds with nominating the members. What do you foresee on that end?
Okay. Basically, as far as SCO summit is concerned, I think that Pakistan should raise this question on this very important platform, that people of the wishes of the people of Kashmir should be respected. And another thing which we should highlight, that what are the human rights abuses, human rights violation going on in Indian illegally occupied Kashmir. Secondly, when you are asking about this, the governor, Manoj Sinha, he is basically doing what the federal government is or central government is demanding from him to do. And we can easily identify that BJP has been involved in gerrymandering. They have given the rights of even non-resident Kashmiris, non-permanent Kashmiris to vote in these elections. And they have won these seats because they have given more seats to Jammu. Traditionally, Jammu has always given lesser seat than the Kashmir Valley. So the state is very much involved in doing what they want to do in as far as gerrymandering, as far as illegal practices are concerned. So this is the concern of National Conference and Congress. I think that in future there will be a tussle between the governor and the chief minister on certain issues. And as far as human rights abuses, and they are, especially governor has identified that more troops will be sent to this Jammu and Kashmir region. So we can see that they are still following the same policies which they have been following since 2019, but it is just thing to tell the world that there is a free and fair election, and we have because what BJP leaders are time and again saying that for the first time, because they have identified that even the time of National Conference, people were not coming out. So the voters turnout is better this time. So they are highlighting this thing. And they are not taking in account that there are non-Kashmiris that have been voting this time.
So, Dr. Khushboo, a lot of people are also saying this is more of a protest vote as well. A lot of people have come out to vote as a sign of protest against the way the BJP government has been doing whatever it is doing in the Indian Hill Valley. Thank you very much, Dr. Khushboo, Ejaz, South Asian Affairs expert, to have joined us and to have talked to us about this legislative elections in Kashmir and, of course, the outlook of that post the elections. Let's come to you, Altaf. Wani Sahab, OIC's contact group on Kashmir recently also reaffirms its support for the people of the Indian Hill Valley, that they need to get their due right to self-determination. That has been time and again highlighted on different of the fora as well. You yourself have been extremely aggressive in your approach as far as writing letters to all the important countries in the world is concerned and highlighting it on different fora, whether it be in the EU, in Brussels, whether it be on other fora as well. What should we expect from these organizations?
See, these organizations like OIC and other organizations, they can keep the pressure the way they are asking the government of India. They are time and again reminding them of it. I don't think we should not expect more from them, that they will do anything more, because in current day world you see that the people have the vested interests in the economic interests, and their strategic interests are more close to their heart than the human rights and other things. What I think for the people of Kashmir is, or what the current the dispensation which is coming up in Kashmir, they have a golden chance now. I think now the people, the likes of Farooq Abdullah, Omar Abdullah and others, Mahbooba and others who are there, whether in assembly or not, but they have now a golden chance for them. Will they again like to be the helping hand to the colonizer, or they will rise against the colonizer? They will rise for their rights. This is time for them, because they have now the mandate of the people. The people of Kashmir have given them this type of mandate against the India, against the Indian current political dispensation, that we are not going to accept the BJP's Hindutva mantra in Kashmir. So they have given the right that whatever BJP government has done in Kashmir, or whatever India has done in Kashmir, that is not acceptable to the people of Kashmir. That is why people came out and voted. That's one thing. But now, will these Omar Abdullah, Farooq Abdullah or others who have been elected to the assembly will become again the helpers of the colonizer? This is up to them. This is time for them. They should come up very clean and ask the government of India to release all political leaders of the All-Party Hurriyat Conference who have been implicated in different cases by the government of India on nefarious designs to strive the dissent in Kashmir, to release all the human rights defenders who have been put behind the bars in order to keep these voices mute around the globe so that they could not speak. So I think now these leaders who have been elected, who are there, whether we, for me, these elections are nothing. They are not substitute to the right self-determination of people of Kashmir. This is not what I say. This is what the United Nations Security Council resolutions clearly say, that the elections in any part of Kashmir are not substitute to the right self-determination of people of Kashmir. So for that, the political future of the people of Kashmir will be decided by the people of the Jammu and Kashmir through free and fair plebiscite. As far as these elections are concerned, so these leaders, these people who have been mandated, they have now the responsibility to stand up against all those oppressed policies which have been enacted in Kashmir by this current BJP government. All those laws which they have incorporated in Jammu and Kashmir, they have to struggle for that. Forget about the development. BJP talked much about the development. People of Kashmir did not give vote to that development. Forget about other facilities. People of Kashmir don't like those facilities. They are not urging for those facilities.
Give them the right to self-determination.
Give them the self-respect, the way they want for the purpose. So come out cleanly, ask the government of India to release them, ask the government of India to talk to them, ask the government of India to talk to Pakistan in order to resolve this question,
once and for
issue
all.
Once for all, honorably, peacefully. Otherwise, these elections have been happening there from 1951 till date. So they will be there, and there will be more bloodshed in future if they don't act.
Agreed, Altaf, Hussain, Wani. Thank you very much to have joined us and to be so vocal on an issue that is very close to our hearts in Pakistan and for all Muslims across the world as well. Thank you very much, sir. Let's come to our last two stories very, very quickly. Firstly, Shehroze Kashif has become the youngest Pakistani to have scaled all of the 14 peaks that are above 8,000 meters. He achieved this this morning around 3:30 a.m. When he reached a summit of Shisham Pagma that stands at 8,027 meters. He is also known as Broad Boy. And of course, it is a huge sign of pride and for Pakistan, for all those who have been supporting Shehroze as well, being the youngest of all, and we wish him all the very best in the future endeavors as well. Finally, the Nobel Peace, not Peace Prize that's going to come in a few days' time. But the Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been awarded to 3 scientists for their work with proteins. It has been awarded to David Baker at the University of Washington for computational protein design because he designed a new protein that was unlike any other, and to Demis Hassabis and John Jumper of Google DeepMind for protein structure prediction, because they were part of a Google DeepMind team whose AI technology predicts protein shapes. And that is very interesting to understand what these proteins are and how they come from, because the more you understand, and the more you understand also how to tackle them and how to tackle different kinds of diseases as well. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of today's news. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with new stories segments that pertain to us. You in Pakistan, stay safe. Allah Hafiz.